welcome to today's California Haunts Radio. It's a wonderful warm day here in Sacramento. Just to let you guys know, as we needed to pre-record on this show because of scheduling situations, but I'm glad to be here, and it's a wonderful Saturday here. It's about 80 degrees in Sacramento for you guys back east to make you all jealous. No snow here, and I've been out working on my yard and stuff. I am Charlotte, your host for the next hour or so. I am also the leader of the California Haunts Paranormal Investigation Team based out of Sacramento, but we have 30 members that are based up and down the state of California, Oregon, Washington, and Hawaii, which is kind of cool. That's where I want to go, is Hawaii, the investigator of Hawaii. But anyhow, we have a great show for you today. Melanie Channell's here, and she has a new book that she's written, and we want to get to know her a little bit. So without further ado, hello, Melanie.
Hello, Charlotte. How are you today?
Terrific. How's your day going?
It's going great so far.
Tell us a little bit about you.
I'm a numerologist and a tarot coach and energy healer and teacher. I've been working in this field for over 15 years, but I'm an avid studier. I read books, lots of books. And I'm really excited about sharing a bit of my new book with you. The Numbers Speak, a journey of healing and guidance through numbers.
That sounds really cool. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I wrote the book, number one, because part of my life purpose is to share knowledge, with others. And I'm doing my small part in raising the vibration of the people that I come in contact with and the planet. All numbers have a positive and negative aspect to them. And in most of the numerology charts that I prepared personally for people, there have been aspects of their chart that have been out of balance. So this is one of the reasons why I wanted to write the book, to help people bring their energy into balance. I chose to work with core numbers in the book because the core numbers are what our vibrations really are. Basically, it's what we're personally here to explore in this lifetime. And another reason why I wanted to write this book was because so many people are seeing triple digit numbers and quadruple digit numbers on the planet. And I see these numbers as messages from spirit guides or angels. There's a lot of interest out there, and I know there are a lot of websites, people giving their own meanings to these, but in my opinion, I believe that everyone's messages are going to be a little bit different because we're all on different energy, levels, and we're not all on the same path. So I felt that keeping this in this, or writing this in the book would also help people. I don't think that every triple digit number is going to mean the same thing. People need to learn how to decipher their own messages, and that's why I put that in the book as well.
Interesting. Now, when somebody does this, because I'm used to doing the numerology thing where you have to give your birthday, the birth time, and all that, do they have to do that with it, or how's that work?
Numerology is based on your birth date. It doesn't necessarily have to be the time like astrology does.
Okay.
And also it's based on your name at birth. So what's on your birth certificate? It's a little bit different if you're actually adopted, because you're going to probably go by your adopted name unless you do know your true name. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. So is it the number of letters in your name? Is that how it works?
Yes.
Okay.
And you add up every name separately, and then you add them up together. If you don't do it separately, you could actually change the energy. So you want to do them separately. And then we have master numbers as well. And master numbers are 11, 22, and 33. So when you add the numbers together, and if it adds up to a master number, you don't want to change that number. So normally you're going to break the numbers down. Okay, say it adds up to 34. So that would be a 7 because 3 plus 4 is 7. Okay. If it adds up to a master number, then you're not going to break it down at the end. Okay?
So once you get these numbers, of course your book has ways that you can interpret them.
Yes, and what I have done in this book, because this book is about healing your core blueprint. It's not just numerology.
Okay.
So it teaches you how to actually balance them. So I've used color. I've come up with, and I got a lot of this downloaded. So, I've come up with 2 colors that people can use to balance out their core numbers, and also crystals for every number. Got affirmations for every number, and I wrote a meditation for every number. So it takes you on a journey through that number, and experiences and all of that. So it's a pretty in-depth book on how to balance your numbers out.
That sounds really cool, though. I mean, for me, I'm not a numbers person, but to have a book like that to guide me, that would be fabulous.
Yes.
Do you remember years ago, I don't know if it was Mattel or who had it, but somebody had the Zodiac toy machine.
Oh, okay.
And this reminds me of that. Only that was on a small scale, because you would program in the numbers of your name and all that, and the computer would spit out these numbers that you would look up in a little booklet to see where they led. So this is fantastic.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and it took quite a few years. I actually lost my computer dumped on me one time, and I lost about the first 6 chapters of it at one point and kind of gave up on it. And then in 2020, I revisited it because I kept getting new things that were coming in. So I guess that was a good thing that I lost it, because I really like how it turned out.
I can understand. You have a question?
Does the book deal with numbers that keep repeating, just showing up in your life, like say a certain number?
Yes, yes, it does. I actually last year, I put that aspect into it. That's the last part of the book. After I teach how to balance your core blueprint, then I go into how to decipher numbers and how you go about deciphering your own. I'm not going to give away the whole thing.
Right. No, I understand. It's just really interesting to me, because I've seen, like I said, basically I like that machine. I always found. I wish I could find the machine. It's so cool,
Right.
But this is slick. Yeah. And I'm fascinated by the whole numbers aspect of all this.
Yes. Well, I will give you that. The thing is that say you have a number 8 in your blueprint, okay? And you keep seeing that number 8. So that energy is going to be about, having confidence or going towards your goals and that type of thing. You keep seeing that. So maybe I'm missing that. Maybe I'm missing confidence, or maybe I'm missing going towards my goals. Okay, say you see the double 8, like 88 all the time. And you have 8 in your, okay, so what you're going to do is, as they duplicate and getting more and more numbers, that energy of the 8 is going to multiply. So if you see, triple, then there's going to be more emphasis on the 8. If you see quadruple 8s, they're even more emphasis. However, you're also going to add them together. So the 8 plus 8 would be 16. So that would, revert down to the 7. Okay, so 1 plus 6 is 7. Now 16 is a karmic debt number. Okay, so you might be looking at that in a different way, because you're going to fall flat on your face with the 16 carbon, that particular number. That's a tower number. So
Cool,
like
cool.
at the tarot card, 16 is the tower. So
Okay.
it kind of vibrates to the same thing. So a karmic debt 16 is tower. So, okay, I'm looking at the 8 energy. You know, I'm a confident or I'm not confident. I keep falling flat on my face with my confidence. I'm not confident enough. The energy or the universe could be telling you that. You know,
Cool.
does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. How are you able? I mean, this is a complicated thing.
It is.
So as a writer, I'm not a math person. I'll tell you that right now.
Right.
You know, a lot of creatives aren't math people, and I happen to be one of the creatives that just.
Yes.
And how were you able to sit down and put this into a book to make it make sense?
Oh, it makes sense once you read it.
I'm just saying, yeah. How is I mean, to you to know this stuff and to sit down and write it into a book? How are you able to make it so any idiot like me could understand?
I had a lot of help from my guides.
Okay.
I really did. It was I'm pretty attuned to Michael and also, you know, my guides. It was like, and I really got to a point near the end of 2020. I'm going, how am I going to get this done? You know, and it just like one day, like in December, this happened in December. One day I got, go for it. And it just like kept coming. And on the 31st, I think I'll read it to you. You want me to read it to you?
Go for it.
February 31st on 12/31/20. I'm so excited that I finished writing my book today. I hit my goal of finishing it this year. Today is a 4-day, a universal 7-month, and an 11 universal day. My soul number is a 4. My life path is a 7, and my destiny number is an 11. As crazy as this year's been, my guides and angels have been there to watch my back. I'm eternally grateful. So it was that, I mean, because on the very day, because I had set a goal somewhere in the summertime, I'm going to get this done. Well, so many things had happened that I was like crazy last year, like everybody else.
Right.
And I didn't think I was going to make it. And then, like I said, in December, they just came and said, here you go. And it happened. And so I was really excited, you know, on that particular day. I'm so excited that I finished writing this book. So it happened for me. It was fun.
That's cool. Yeah, because I got 3 books in the works. They've been in the works for like 4 years.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like just trying to find the time to sit there and focus and do it. That's the issue. Because other stuff keeps coming up. You know, there's websites to show, you know, ghost hunting and do that, whatever. It's just so hard to focus. I admire you for doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Getting
Thank
it done.
you.
I really do.
Mm-hmm.
So my producer says you're into other stuff other than this. So let's talk about some of that.
Oh, well, I'm hoping that actually right now, I'm actually looking at writing a book for teenagers.
Okay.
For kids, you know, maybe tweens, you know, 13, 14, about life purpose. I'm getting so many people right now after the year 2020 that have come to me asking me what their life purpose is, and most of them are younger. And I really started getting, okay, maybe there's something to this, because if I look back on my life, I didn't know what my life purpose was until I was 40. I mean, I just didn't. And I knew when I was little, I knew things before they were happening, but I was in an environment that it wasn't conducive for my learning how to, you know, broaden my horizons. It just wasn't there. And so it was pretty much stomped out of me. Oh, no, you don't, you know. So anyway, I had an experience in my late 30s that all of a sudden, my guides were going, you need to go here. You need to go here. I'm going, who is that? You know, by that time, who's talking to me? So anyway, I was guided to go into a psychic shop. I got my first psychic reading in my late 30s, and that really started something. I was like, oh my God, this isn't the devil, you know, and because that's what I was taught basically when I was growing up. So, and so anyway, fast forward, you know, I finally figured it out, you know, where I was supposed to go with my life. And this is what this is really a big part of what I do, is helping others find their life purpose so that they can be happier. And does that make sense?
Yeah, because I was just thinking about that. I am in a similar situation. My mother passed away 2 years ago.
Right.
And I took care of my mom and dad for like 11 years. And I'm going in like 10 different directions as to what I'm going to be when I grow up.
Right.
Now, and I'm 50 years old, and I'm how old I am. And I was just, well, you know, that was my curiosity of it all is it my mind doing that, or am I being drawn by whatever forces there are to look into different things to see where I fit?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think it's just your mind.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. That's why I was curious, because when you said that, the bell went off. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes.
That's why I've been wondering, because it's just like sometimes I'll sit around and feel like, well, God, maybe I'm just banging my head against the wall, doing all this stuff, you know, and it just serves no purpose. It's just me, you know.
I wanted to tell you something because I did look at your growth number.
Uh-oh.
And it's real. Your growth number is always, it's Charlotte. It's your first name. Okay. Your growth number is always positive. Throughout your life, this is how you're going to grow. And yours is a 3. So you're actually on the right path right now, because it's very social. It's very creative, and you are creative. And so you're actually on a good roll with it, doing the podcast, because a 3 really needs to be talking. You know, you're good with words, and
I'm good at that. Yeah, that's for sure.
You're good with words, and your best, you know, your growth throughout your whole life is going to be through words and your creativity. So, have you thought of doing something visual kind of creative things?
Yes.
Okay, because that's kind of what I'm getting. What about going towards more not movies necessarily, but towards that?
I have built, since my mother passed away, in fact, I'm in the big studio right now. I have built a photo video studio in what was her bedroom.
Okay.
And I've got a smaller radio studio in the other room, but because it wasn't ready, here I am in the photo video studio. But I have been wanting to go more towards filming short videos, maybe, you know, just even for my team to get that started to do documentaries and stuff that way out of here.
Okay.
You know, and stuff that productively. So that's kind of where I'm going. You know, it's kind of, you know, essentially, you've hit it, because I'm really enjoying doing the show.
Right.
And I do want to go in that direction, video-wise and everything. You know,
yes,
so that's where it's headed.
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I knew you would run me, because never mind. I knew it. I work with enough psychics, you know, and people like that to know that before you come in contact with them, they usually run you, you know, through. I'm good. I'm good with it. You know, you're really fun to talk to. I'm enjoying this. And if you have any questions, just pop right in, because I've decided I'm not going to stop you. I'm just going to let you just put your finger up ass, so I'll shut up. But otherwise, I'll just keep going. I'm fascinated by all this. I'm fascinated by the fact that you had the gumption to write this book and take the time to do it. You know, like I said, it's a complicated subject to write about. But I mean, if you can help people, if that's your goal to help people, then wonderful. Because there's a lot of, I'm not going to say you're one, but there's a lot of people like that do what you do, that, you know what I mean? They'll say, okay, here's a little bit of this, and but it's going to cost you $30 to get this,
Right.
So by putting it into a book, I think it's great.
Yes. Well, that's what I want to do is help as many people as I can come in contact with, whatever avenue that is. I believe that we all need to help each other. And so I'm hoping that that's the way the planet's energy is moving. Sometimes it's hard to see that if you watch the news,
Yeah.
but I do know the past few years I've really been running into people that really want to learn and want to raise their vibration.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to help as much as I can.
Awesome.
And I know I'm only one person, but you know what? Every little bit helps, right?
I understand, absolutely.
If someone buys your book and they go through the exercises, if they get stuck or they have a question, is there a way they can get in touch with her? Is there like a website or something?
Yes. My website is heartworksnow.com. That's Heartworks Now. That HeartWorksNow.com.
Cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You're really a great lady. I mean, I'm just really impressed. Really impressed. Have you run into people that? Well, tell me about some success stories of people you've worked with.
Oh, well, with life purpose, I'm going to say some of the people that I have taught like tarot to, and I'm not going to name their names, but
No, you don't have to.
A couple of people that I taught actually are doing what I'm doing now. Not numerology or that, but I have a friend who I taught a few classes to, and she figured out that she was a medium. I already knew that. I wound up taking her to a mediumship church.
Mm-hmm.
The church is gone now, but she learned what she needed to learn there, and now she's doing her own thing, and she's wonderful. But she trusted me enough to listen. Does that make sense? She trusted me enough to listen to what I was saying. I'm saying, you are really gifted. You need to do this. This is part of your life purpose. And during that whole process, we found out that her grandmother, who she really revered, was actually a reverend in that church at one time, and she didn't know it. And so we found out through this process, okay, because her grandmother came to me at one point, and I knew it was her because I saw roses, and she was from Great Britain, and the tea roses were hers in her garden, and I saw this vision of that, and I smelled the rose, and she was with me saying thank you, for helping my granddaughter. So we put her on this path, and that was amazing. I mean, that was an amazing little run there, because it took her to her life purpose, basically. And she trusted me. So when people go into trust, I think, with each other, we're not all out to get each other. And sometimes people get that, that mixed message. Is this person trustworthy? Can I trust them with my stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Her whole life, she had seen, seen people coming, and she didn't know what was going on. And she never, ever spoke about it to anybody until she met me. And she was in her 30s, she was getting older. So it was kind of interesting. But
I picked that up about you, and that's another thing I admire, is that there's a lot of competition in what you do.
Mm-hmm. And
you do strike me as a person who is not a viper. Does that make sense? You're not a viper. There's a lot of vipers out there. Even with what I do, ghost hunting, there's a lot of vipers. And
Yes.
it's amazing that you're as open as you are with people. I think it's great. I think it's wonderful.
I think we need help. We need more spiritual people out there helping. I'm careful too who I try. I mean, I'm careful.
Sure.
I'm not stupid about it, but
Right.
I'm open, so
Yeah, because there's a lot of them that aren't.
yes.
There's a lot of
And
them
I feel the right people will come to you for help, if you're open to that. I don't believe in the competition thing, because I have grown without having that energy attached to me. So I don't need it. I don't want it, don't need it. And I do believe that what goes around comes around. So if you're going to be a nice person, nice things are going to eventually happen to you.
I've gotten to that age now. When I first started doing this 15 years ago, yeah, I was, hey, you're going to pick on me, I'm going to pick right back at you and stuff.
Yes.
But now I just want to maintain an even strain and keep my thing going, and just
Right.
positive, just like you. I just want to keep it all positive, but on the level of, I don't
If I feel that somebody's going that way, I go the other direction, because I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it near me. Life's hard enough.
Right.
So,
Especially now.
yeah.
So I was going to ask you, the timing of your book is great, because everybody's coming off of all this, being stuck at home with COVID. A lot of people don't know what direction they want to take themselves.
Yes,
And there's a lot of people like me who are old farts, and we're having to pick up the pieces and literally start our lives over from the careers we had, because those jobs aren't going to be there anymore, because the youngins are going to get them. So I think the book is coming out at the perfect time.
Yes, it is. And I think yes, because it is about figuring out who you are, at least the basics, because their core numbers are the basics. Numerology goes into other things too. There are timelines, there are pinnacles where, that it does help to know that as well, because that's the energy of the time that you're in. And if you use that, if I look back on when I didn't know any of this, if I look back and say, and figured out what my pinnacles were, say when I was in my 20s, I fought that really hard. I was wondering why, I'm bouncing my head against the wall. It's because you're usually fighting it or listening to other people's ideas of what is good for you.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's what I did, because I grew up in that era, where parents, this is what you're going to do, or this is what they think you're good at. Well, you might not be good at that. And so, I wound up being good at what my mother wanted me to do, because I did that for years. I wound up being good at it, but I didn't like it. And I don't feel that was my purpose. So.
Yeah, I think my dad had dreams of either going in the military or becoming a police officer.
Okay.
Discipline.
Yes.
I am a very peaceful person, unless I'm really irritated. So getting shot at was not high on my list. And I told him that, and I said, I'm sorry, but going somewhere and shooting somebody or getting shot at is just not my thing.
Right, exactly.
So, and I remember originally when I went to college, I wanted to do special effects for film makeup effects. And they happened to have a journalism class open, and then everything changed, because I needed I had to have an English class that I'd never done available. So I took journalism, and that was the end of that. So here I am, all these years later, doing this stuff. Well, my gosh, you are a really cool person, a really cool lady. We've been friends on Facebook for years. Crossing paths, keeping an eye on each other. What do you have to say to people that want to start doing what you do?
Start learning, meditating, number one. Meditation's key. Getting still, finding out who your guides are. Reading is good, but find somebody that you can trust, or you feel who isn't going to ream you money-wise. because there are teachers out there that will take advantage of that. Go to some meetup groups, do some things like that. Even going to maybe psychic fairs, but start taking some classes, learn how to, but meditating and getting still for me is the place to start. Getting still. Everybody says, I've heard so many times, I can't meditate. Yes, you can. Everybody can. It's just, it takes practice. And like anything that is worth your time takes practice. And that goes with learning how to, even talk to your spirit guides. It's going to take practice. Raising your vibrations is going to take practice. Everybody wants everything right now. And it's so learning patience with yourself, laughing at yourself when you make mistakes. I mean, because you are, when you're in that learning mode, when you're learning how to connect to your higher self, you're going to make mistakes. And you're also going to, and doubting. Quit doubting that what you're getting is something else. Okay. People have big issues with doubt. And so when you're doubting, you're never going to get there. You have to be open to receive. So, but meditation to me is key.
That's one of the things I used to teach when I taught psychic development classes, for basic. That was one thing I used to tell them is that, okay, we're going to do this and tell me what comes into your mind. I said, because there's no wrong answers. Don't doubt what's coming in. Yeah, there's no wrong answers in this.
Yeah. Usually, to me, like the first thing that comes is what you should go with. Because usually that's true. And then you start doubting. People, when they're first, they doubt. They doubt this. They doubt what they're getting. And that's probably the biggest block that people have is doubt.
Absolutely.
That's my experience anyway, because I still doubt myself. Every once in a while, it happens.
One of the finest statements I got when I used to film a TV show for my group was, I had a psychic on my team who at Wilden Opera House stood there and said, you know what? She says, I don't know how I get what I get. She says, sometimes I don't believe what I get, but I get it. And I actually put it on film because I thought, you know what? That is the most honest psychic I've ever talked to in my life. That would say that and admit that, because a lot of them are like, nope, this is what I got. This is how it is.
Yes.
So,
no, we're human.
Yeah.
I have never met a psychic who's always 100% ever. And I know some very good ones. So, I go to psychic fairs. I participate with a lot of these people. So, I've never met one.
If you follow what I do with my team, you'll notice that when I do these investigations, I'll use 3 different psychics.
Right.
Because like you say, they're never 100%. I hate to say it that way because I have really good psychics on my team, but they're never 100%. But if you get at least 3, you can start kind of piecing everything together a lot more to get the story.
Well, that's good for you. That was a good choice for you to do that then, because that gives you more insight. Because somebody's going to pick up one thing and another person's going to pick up something else, so forth. Yeah.
Well, that's the whole thing, because the ghosts aren't going to, you might have something about your personality that the ghosts on site don't like.
Right.
And so
they're not going to tell you.
They're more willing to talk to somebody else. So that's how I've operated all these years. But this isn't about me, it's about you, but I'm just saying that's how I've operated. Now, going back to meditation.
Right.
I am a meditator. It sounds terrible to say that. Meditator. And I have been doing it for years. And I used to teach, like I said, basic psychic development class, which involved a lot of meditation and working your way up to see your spirit guides, your spirit object, and all that stuff. Right. But it does work. Coming from like having a bad heart, like I do, that helped me so much because I have all this energy.
Right.
And it taught me to really be able to shut down and calm myself down to the point where I'm just humming along. And people don't realize that you can do that. Like you say, it takes training.
It's good for your heart. It's good for it's good for everything. It's good for your body, mind, and spirit. So I
Yeah.
mean, it can lower your blood pressure and everything. So I definitely believe in meditation, and that's what
And
I use.
you're, and you're right. There are people on Facebook that do free meditation nightly. Where you can hook up with them and do that, and they'll take you through and teach you how to do it. You
Yes.
just gotta buyer beware of the one. Like I said, like the email psychics. Here, I'm going to
Yes.
give you a little bit of tidbit, and then for $30 more, I'll give you a full reading.
Yes.
Stay away from that crap.
Yes. Exactly.
It's a red flag.
Well, it's not ethical. So
Yeah.
go with
Yeah, it's
that.
not right. Just enough to tease people to get them in,
Right.
Or the psychics that lead you that lead you when the questions are a no too,
Right.
This is great. I'm enjoying this immensely. I don't know about you.
No, I'm enjoying it. So do you want me to give you a short little reading on yourself?
My producer says yes, so she wants to be a guinea pig. So let's do it. Yeah, okay, I'll do it.
Okay. be a guinea pig. Okay,
He's
so
very
what is your
afraid. This is your
birthday?
fault,
Oh,
Oh, it's February 2nd. Well, people are going to know how old I am.
Oh, I
it's
didn't
okay.
think of that. I'm sorry.
It's okay. February 2nd, 1965.
Oh, you're younger than I am. It's fine. Oh, okay. So your life path is a 7, and what the life path is, okay, let me redo it just to make sure. Yeah, your life path is a 7. So your life path tells you what your challenges are, what your, I'm a 7 too, my life path. So we're kind of on the same path here. What your challenges are, what your talents are, and that type of thing. Basically your challenges and your talents and the path that you're going down in this life. Okay, so 7s are very spiritual. 7s tear everything apart. They're very analytical. They deep dive down into everything. They those type of people. They're usually highly intelligent. Usually they can become teachers, especially as they get older. But yes, they're deep divers. They test everything. They want to know everything. Okay, they're the people who ask the deep questions. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I want to know what's going on. You like to study, that type of thing. So the scientists of the universe, basically. So this year I will give you your personal year too. And this year is a 5. So we're in a universal 5 year. So the whole planet is basically dealing with the 5 energy. So 5 is very progressive. It's also about communication. And so we're all dealing with this right now and lots of change. So this year we're dealing with, and we are, if you look at us at the whole planet, we are dealing with a lot of change and a lot of upheaval and that type of thing. So 5 can be a little difficult sometimes, but there's also a lot of good that can come out of it. Okay. So out of the 5, because it is very, I see a lot of things going more towards the internet, and that's communication wise, by the wire, everything's going that direction. But your personal year is a 9. Okay. So this is the energy that is around you this year and the energy that you're working with. So numerology goes in cycles. So we go 1 through 9. So the 9 is the ending. So this is a year for endings for you. So that you can, so what you want to do this year is release everything that doesn't serve you. Get rid of it. So that's people, places, things. Clean out your closets, do that type of thing this year, because next year you're going to start a new cycle, which will be 1. So you'll have new beginnings. So you could have lots of really creative change this coming year. It sounds to me like you're looking for things to start. So that's kind of what a 9 year is kind of do. You're going, where am I supposed to be doing? What am I supposed to be doing? So you're getting rid of things this year that don't serve you anymore, so you can start over next year. So, and also this can be a very healing year for you. And whatever you started within this 9 year cycle, so the past few years, this year's the culmination, good or bad, of what you've been working on the past 8 years. Okay. So it could be a very good year for you. If everything was positive, then this would be a really positive year. If, not so positive, it could be a year that it blows up in your face. So anyway, that's basically what this year is for you. Get rid of the stuff you don't need anymore. Okay. And that could be attitudes too, towards yourself, towards others. It's a year for forgiveness. So forgiving yourself and forgiving others for things that, you may need to work on. So that's what this year is about. Self-healing.
Cool.
And
Thank
the
you.
planet.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. So my other question on this is, when somebody, it's up for interpretation, like you say. When somebody gets the numbers, they put these numbers together via your book.
Right.
How religiously should they follow the advice there?
Religiously?
You know what I mean.
It's called, we all have choices.
Choices, okay. Well, there's people that follow astrology and they follow it to religiously to a T. They'll open up the newspaper that day and go, oh yeah, I can't go to work today. This is going to happen. So I mean, once they get the numbers and all that.
I mean, you have to kind of go with your gut though too. But I mean, I really go by the numbers because for me, I have just found that it works, and even astrology, some of that, like I don't start new things, when we're in retrograde and things like that.
I don't like retrograde.
But those type of things. So I pretty much, I've found a lot of truth in this. In anything that's mathematical, because I do know that when you if you look at the whole universe, I mean, it's very, very mathematical and very organized. So how we're organized, if you look at ourselves and, that type of thing. I've taken sacred geometry classes and things like that. And when I got an attunement from Michael in 2011, I was seeing sacred geometry everywhere. And that was from the angels. So I know that this all means something. I mean, the numbers. If you take it all into, down to the very basics, energy, it's a number, it's mathematical. So yes, I am going to say that I have a very strong feeling about it. Yes.
When you talk about retrograde, for the people that don't know what the heck we're talking about, can you say something about that?
Oh, like Mercury being in retrograde, that's astrology. That's not numerology. But, when the planets are moving backwards, that's not something that you want to start something in, because they're going the wrong direction. So they're not moving forward. So you don't want to start anything new and when that energy is happening. No.
Sometimes it'll wreak havoc and normal daily things too.
Yes, and Mercury, the past few years for me, when it's gone retrograde, has really wreaked havoc. I mean, it's I don't know why, but like this, the past few years, it's really, I'm not starting anything in Mercury retrograde.
That's how I feel. I've had nothing but issues when Mercury's in retrograde lately.
Yes.
I don't know why.
A lot of computer issues. My car broke down, Mercury retrograde. I had to get a new car, things like that. It's like, okay, that's telling me something. So, I'm getting this picture no more moving forward when there's anything in retrograde. I know there was that one, I don't know if it was last year or the year before, there was all those planets in retrograde. And no, didn't want to start anything.
Now that you've written the book, you're planning on another book. Are you planning on teaching classes on any of this at all?
Yes, I'd actually like to teach a class on, and I haven't really put that together yet, but on how to go more into depth of what I put in the book as far as the back part of it, how to read your own numbers, because I know a lot of people really. Now the thing is that you have to be really committed to do this kind of thing. Is like learning tarot cards, learning numerology is got. I mean, as far as how in depth I've gotten, you have to be committed. So for me, I could do like a beginning class for people who just are kind of. I won't go into in-depth things unless I know somebody's going to be committed, because I don't want to waste their time or money or mine either. Mm-hmm. So I kind of gotten a little picky about who I teach anymore. I love the beginning classes for everybody, but if I'm going to get really into in depth, I want people who are committed. It takes too much time and energy. Unless I'm just going to be doing online classes, right. Which I did do an online class last year too. I did get that done, and that is on the first part of the book here. So I added more in the book, of course, but I actually thought of doing an online class. That way I don't have to really care about who's committed or not. Anyway.
Well, that's cool though. Mm-hmm. So what's in the future? Okay, so we talked about the book coming up. Is there anything else in the future that you're looking towards?
I'm actually looking forward to being able to be in person more with people. I'm looking forward to some of the psychic fairs opening up. Being alone, I mean, it's kind of started to wear on me a little. So getting in there and possibly doing some talks, at the psychic fairs and things like that, I think would be fun. But yeah, that to me is getting more in touch with people in person, I think, is what I'd really like to do. Somebody has been also YouTube. I did start doing some videos on YouTube. I started writing more meditations. Right now I'm doing a series of meditations for the astrology. So and so that I'm taking people through the constellations, basically.
Oh, cool.
And that type of thing. But now I think I'm going to start, after I'm done with that, because I have 2 more months of that to go, I think I'm going to start doing some YouTube videos once a month on the monthly numerology numbers, the month. So I think I'm going to start doing that.
Do you think, this is my fear too, with everybody being off like they have been, that there's going to be a big surge, like if you have a conference or you have the one-on-ones, there's going to be a big surge in these one-on-one bookings, but there's also people that are so used to doing it this way, not in person, that you're going to have both,
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Going.
And I think, and because there are people who are going to be a little fearful,
mm-hmm.
At least to begin with getting back in. I mean, I found myself, I hardly drove at all for like a year. And so I went out last week to just across town, and it scared me to death just driving. So, because I felt like people were trying to run me off the road, you know.
They're not driving right. People cannot drive. I think they've been off so long they forgot how to drive.
Yes, and it scared me because, I mean, I only went a few miles and it was like, wow.
It's crazy. My producer over here was just on the freeway in bumper-to-bumper traffic. And
Right.
some guy made the attempt to shoot across, 3 lanes?
Yeah, and right in front of my car to go off the exit, hit my
Right.
car into the other lane. The other car saw what was happening, moved out of the way so I didn't hit the other car, but damaged my vehicle. $4,000 damage.
You know what it reminds me of? Christmas time.
Oh, yes.
Because the people that don't drive all the time are out driving at Christmas, and that's what you run into. This is what it is. I mean, people are crazy. People got to slow down, and it's just breathe.
Slow down. There's no need to be in a hurry when you're driving.
It's insane out there. Yeah, I mean, you're going to see a lot of that. You're going to see the restaurants too, pushing people in the stores because they're not used to being out. They're getting their first breath, of fresh air, so to say, to even get out and do stuff. People just aren't used to it anymore. Do you think, now, do it like with the numbers game and all that? I'm not saying game, but you know what I mean. With the numbers, do you think that, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say numbers. But with the numbers, do you think we're all going to end up on lockdown again? Because the way it's going, like in Michigan, things are going crazy.
I haven't been paying that much attention to the news very much because I was watching it and then I started getting a little down because of it. So, so I kind of took a breather with
It'll do that to you. The news will do that to you. But yeah, I kind of feel like you. I kind of feel like we're going to have a presence on both because, like you say, there's going to be people that are just more comfortable being online. I mean, look. I mean, it's like these commercials they're showing now, like the poor guy that's online and he's got a picture of his crotch area and he doesn't have the right clothes on.
Right.
He makes the adjustment. Yes. And there's going to be people that want to stay at home and do this because they like that. They like not having to put the whole suit on and do all that stuff.
Yes. And that is one thing that I have been okay with as far as I talk a lot on the phone too. So, but being on Zoom, you still feel like, okay, I've got to have my hair, okay, or whatever.
So you got to wear a hat like me. There's no problem. I can hide it all. That's the whole point. You can see my gray. It's all good.
But yeah, I do miss the in-person, but you're right about some of that. You don't have to be as, put together, that type of thing. So, and some people enjoy that. Not having to do that.
Oh yeah, so I agree with you. Like I said, like you say, it's going to be a little bit of both. I miss the in-person conferences. I miss taking people on ghost tours and doing all this stuff. So I can't wait to get back out and do that in some old hotel. Because I love. I was really shy growing up, real shy in high school, but then after I became a journalist, I had no choice.
Yes.
But to communicate with people. So now I'm just like, woo, let's bring it on. I'm good. So I can't wait to get back out and have that communication with people.
Yes.
Again,
I miss it.
To share my stuff.
Right. And that's one thing. I mean, I really enjoy making things too for the shows because I like to make jewelry and prayer beads and things like that.
See, it must be our number thing because I've got more projects. My sister gets so frustrated with me because I'll start a project over here and then there's something over there, so you go around my house with like 4 or 5 projects going on.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all crafty, I agree, 100%. So tell us how we can get your book.
Oh, my book is on Amazon and it's in Kindle and Kindle version and print version. And so all you have to do is get on Amazon and put in the number speak and it comes right up. So
Awesome. I'm so excited. I'm going to actually order it. I want to read it.
I am too.
And get into it. I really am. I'm really excited about this. this hour just flew by.
Yes, it did. Actually, it was fun. I
we had a
enjoyed
good
it a lot.
time.
Yes.
See, it was
Yes.
really fun.
Yes.
And I would like to get you on when you do your next book. I'd like to get you back on.
Okay. Okay.
And all that.
Yeah,
And maybe
because
do a
I
fun.
have a feeling that I'm going to be writing it this year because it's like percolating. So,
I'm hoping I can get mine done this year too, you know, so
Yeah.
we'll see what happens, you know.
just commit to it. Just commit. You can do it. I have faith in you.
Well, I thank you for coming on, and
Thank you for having me.